What leads millions of us to gather around tables, roll dice, and immerse ourselves in fantasy worlds? And why do we keep coming back for more? Welcome back to Dungeon Brew. Today we're going to be exploring the theories in regard to personality that helps us understand what motivates us, how our playstyles are shaped, and how game masters can use the knowledge to better their game. So we're going to be looking at player motivation, and unlike competitive games, the appeal of tabletop role-playing games goes beyond just simple winning. There are several frameworks that we can look at to help us understand the diverse motivations that players have around the table. One influential model in psychology that we can look at is the Big Five personality traits, which is oftentimes remembered through the acronym OCEAN. The O stands for openness to experience. This trait reflects a person's tendency to be curious, imaginative, and open to new ideas, feelings, and experiences. Individuals high in openness often appreciate art, unconventional ideas, and variety. The C stands for conscientiousness. This describes individuals who are organized, responsible, dependable, and goal-oriented. They tend to be self-disciplined and prefer structure and planning. The E is for extroversion. This trait reflects the degree to which a person is outgoing, sociable, and seeks stimulation from the company of others. Extroverts are often energetic and assertive. The A is for agreeableness. This describes individuals who are cooperative, kind, sympathetic, and eager to help others. They value social harmony, and they are generally trusting. And the N is for neuroticism. Sometimes referred to as emotional stability, the inverse, this trait is a reflection of the tendency to experience negative emotions such as anxiety, worry, sadness, and irritability. Individuals high in neuroticism are often more sensitive to stress. Now, it is important to understand that the Big Five traits are generally considered spectrums, meaning that individuals fall somewhere along a continuum for each one of those traits rather than fitting neatly into one category. These traits are also considered relatively stable over time. They can shift subtly, but for the most part, you are where you're at. Now, there isn't a direct one-to-one mapping for these traits for a tabletop role-playing game, but if the game master understands where his players are at on this particular scale, he can create campaigns that will speak to them directly. For instance, if you have a player that has high openness, they might be particularly drawn to a campaign with rich lore and unusual settings and opportunities for creative problem solving. They might enjoy playing characters with unique backgrounds or exploring unconventional character builds. Players that have high levels in conscientiousness might appreciate games with clear rules, well-defined goals, and systems that reward planning and strategic thinking. They might enjoy playing characters that are skilled and reliable. If you have players that are high in extroversion, which may be fewer and far between in TTRPGs, but they're likely to enjoy the social aspects of the game, thriving on group interactions, engaging with NPCs, and perhaps taking on more face roles in the party. Players high in agreeableness might prioritize party cohesion, enjoying playing supportive characters, and they might be more invested in collaborative storytelling and positive social outcomes within the game. And then lastly, if you have players that are high in neuroticism, they might be more immersed in the emotional aspects of their characters and the narrative, potentially responding strongly to tense or dramatic situations. A game master might be mindful of pacing and tone with them specifically to ensure that the experience remains enjoyable. Understanding these types of tendencies can really help a game master to tailor elements of the game that resonate with general inclinations of the players that they have around the table, although there are of course some individual preferences in that group that may vary, which can be a little challenging. Alright, so building on this, I want to look at Bartle's taxonomy of player types, which specifically focuses on gaming motivations. Of course, I have to include Bartle's taxonomy of player types. This is based off of character theory. It's so that you know what type of characters you have around the table, and it's specific to motivations. And you can see 4 different quadrants here with them being broken up based on how they play the game or what motivates them to play the game. So our first quadrant is the achievers. They're driven by progress, points, levels, and mastering the gaming system. They enjoy overcoming challenges and seeing tangible growth in their characters. Then you have the explorers, those that are motivated by discovering the game world, its lore, hidden secrets, and intricate details. They love uncovering new information and experiencing the virtual environment. Then we have the socializers, those primarily enjoy Interacting with other players and NPCs, the social aspect, and building relationships and collaborative storytelling are key for them. And then you have the killers, those who find satisfaction in competition, asserting dominance, and impacting the game world, often through combat or strategic superiority. It might be worthwhile asking your players where they believe they fall within those 4 quadrants. In fact, I know there's tests online you can take to see where you fall within them, but then as a game master, you can take that information and craft your sessions to fulfill their needs. And this leads me into our next topic, which is the self-determination theory, which I enjoy this theory. It's one I actually talk about regularly in some leadership trainings that I regularly do, but it posits that we have psychological needs that need to be fulfilled, and I think that we have those filled in our tabletop role-playing games, which is why they're so deeply engaging and beneficial, or at least we perceive them to be that way. Let me tell you a little bit about SDT. Self-determination theory says that we have 3 basic psychological needs. The first one is competence, the need to feel effective and capable to master challenges and grow. In tabletop role-playing games, this can be satisfied by successfully navigating encounters, developing character skills, and overcoming obstacles. A game master can foster competence by providing clear feedback, offering appropriate challenges, and allowing players to see the impact of their actions. The second psychological need is autonomy, the need to feel a sense of choice and volition in one's actions. Tabletop role-playing games excel here by giving players agency over their characters' decisions, allowing for customization, and providing meaningful choices that shape the narrative. Game masters can enhance autonomy by offering players options, respecting their character choices, and avoiding overly railroading the story. And then lastly, there is the psychological need of relatedness, the need to feel connected to others, to care and be cared for, and to belong. Tabletop role-playing games inherently foster relatedness through collaborative storytelling, teamwork, and overcoming challenges, and the social bonds formed around the gaming table. Game masters can encourage relatedness by creating opportunities for in-character interaction, fostering a positive group dynamic, and highlighting the importance of the party's cohesion. So hopefully this gives some understanding. I feel like we could dive even deeper and even look into like the Myers-Briggs and what personality traits we have that lead us to be motivated by certain aspects within a tabletop role-playing game. But I'm hoping that these 3 concepts really give you some start into understanding your own motivations. I know for myself as a player, understanding these psychological frameworks really helped me deepen my self-awareness as a gamer. It lets me know what truly motivates me, what aspects of the game bring me the most satisfaction, and it helps me recognize my own preferences, which allows me to communicate with my game master about what I might be missing on a weekly basis that wants me to come back for more. As a game master, this knowledge I think is invaluable. Creating and engaging and fulfilling experiences for your players, understanding what game theory is, what motivation looks like for my players, understanding how these different personalities might engage with the game, and focusing on satisfying the core need of competence and autonomy and relatedness and all these other things that make a game enjoyable. I'm very big in believing that there's a craft to certain skills, and being a game master is a craft. It's understanding all of these aspects and making sure that I'm not just creating a game that speaks truly to my motivations and something that I would enjoy, but something that is going to be enjoyable for all the players around the table. Ultimately, the enduring appeal of tabletop role-playing games is that they have this ability to tap into the fundamental aspects of human psychology. They offer a space for creativity and social connection and personal growth that you see through your characters, and that is satisfying. Overcoming challenges together is satisfying. So let me know, what are some aspects of tabletop role-playing games that resonate most with you and why? And in the meantime, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and go check out our Patreon where we have lots of resources for game masters like you.
Dungeon Brew.